So are we live, LG?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So here we are on the platform of Metamorphosis once again on the Global International Summit, which is on education and from speakers across the nation. And this podcast is live on around 40 plus countries where each and every educator will benefit from what each and every speaker is going to share their knowledge on. So today, before we start this international summit with multiple educators across the globe, we are proud to share that we have completed more than 300 live sessions on Metamorphosis till now in a gap of 1.5 years, creating awareness on education on ground level. So, thank you everyone for being with me on this first annual International Summit of 2024, a benchmark success for each and everyone who has been with me in this journey of creating awareness. A special thanks to Anjum for always being there to support me. Special thanks to Sonal Seth for being there with me, and special thanks to each one of you also for making today's uh, uh, session a profounding one where we are actually going to create awareness. So, as I always say, that educators are first knowledge creators where we create more and more professions. So when we talk about the profession, we're always talking about a teacher makes a doctor, a teacher makes a lawyer, a teacher makes a professor, a teacher makes XYZ. But when the teacher makes XYZ, a lawyer, a doctor, a professor, I would like to share some few lines before I hand over the reins to the host of the today's match, that is Dr. Anjum Qureshi ma'am. So, small lines from my side. When a student says something about a campus incident, it is a representative voice. When a professor speaks about the same incident, the views are expected to be informed opinion. When the principal or director of the institution responds, it is authority speaking. When a management person speaks, it becomes a decisive value statement. When a sponsor speaks, it is expected to have long lasting policy implications. A journalist reports, it is random news. A news anchor speaks about it, it stirs up controversies. A politician's statement whips up divisive tendencies. A lawyer's statement evokes questions of order and justice. A judge's observations can open up a Pandora's box of undetermined and unresolved issues. So I think all the professions are created by just one person, a teacher and educator. So this is what each and every person that has gone through his own career, they have shared. When a professor speaks about the same incident, the views are expected to be informed opinion. When a director or a principal of the institution responds, it is authority speaking. So every person in or her respective field or career is a creation of an educator, of a teacher. So congratulations today for everyone for sharing your views over here. And I hand over the reins to Anjum ma'am to carry forward the session and take forward the lead for today's summit.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So, hello everyone, and it's really great to see educators joining from different parts of the world. And I know Metamorphosis is a great platform. In fact, one of the best platforms where we can say the educators come together and we exchange our views, we exchange our ideas, and actually we learn a lot. Yes, as Sunil ma'am just said, that educators create other professions. But here, yes, of course, we are creating other professions, but we are learning from each other. And I hope this is going to be another summit. So without taking much of your time, I would like to invite our first speaker for today, Michael Mansell. Dr. Mike Mansell?
Yes, I'm over here.
Yes, yes, sir, please.
So, first, mostly, I need to say like it's congratulations, and I'm feeling so powerfully elated, and really appreciate you for having me here right now in this beautiful, beautiful mega event, and congratulations to all super highway leaders. When I say super highway leaders, mean the people who are in the one-sided love with humanity because they're not putting anything for any consideration. So this is what I mean, super highway leaders. And there are three type of leaders: super highway leaders and the leaders who are going on to the middle and the lowest road. So congratulations. I'm feeling so empowered and lucky. Why? Because I'm sharing my voice with the 40 nations. I was told by someone like the 40 countries so seriously like they're going to listen our talk. And congratulations to all super highway leaders for joining me here right now on this boat. Uh, this is Mike Littman. I'm NLP, and I'm helping people to grow up with the next level consciousness on in business, in life, um, in the different domains of soft skills. And I help almost like 500 people, 500 million people all over the globe. And in last 16 months, I could speak up almost to more than 89 nations in the world. So it's an honor, and I feel really great like to share my voice right now over here. So today, we're going to talk about uh, the real paradigm shifting and the future of education. So, as I've personally been investigating these things because I've been in domain for the last couple of decades, and I've been investigating and I've been like having a direct communication with the youngest kids who are onward at school called university. So, uh, today I had an opportunity like to criticize something about education because it's a very open platform where I really can share my voice and I can share my ideas and my thoughts what happened. Before this, I need to talk about what is the core idea of education. So the people would agree, hopefully, uh, the purpose of education, the core idea of education is to make this world a conducive place for our next generation. Uh, and in addition, the purpose of education is to bring attention and flexibility and to make people like a machine. So why I say attention, why? Because we have universal issues and challenges, and we as a human being, we as a student, we as a teacher, we need to know like where we need our attention. So attentions are we have Millennium Development Goals, and we already knew like we are going through multiple level of crisis. So we need to be attentive. I'm pretty lucky because I could get help my students ready to get attentive to all these universal challenges and problems, and including education. And one of my students, I would love to share a story. She told me, "Sir, I want to become an environmentalist." I said, uh, because I don't believe in just inspiration. I believe in reasoning. So she told me that I want to become an environmentalist because I lost my grandfather, grandmother, and I lost so many people in my family. The reason why, because we have contaminated water in our vicinity, in our surroundings. So we people are dying because of that. So I would help people. So the core idea is help. That's the beautiful thing what I uh, could share, and that's what like the point of satisfaction uh, when I'm penetrating or when I'm starting the new features for my clients, my students. So the second thing like we need to develop in our life is to bring flexibility. The purpose of education is to bring flexibility. Flexibility is very it brings open-mindedness and it removes the rigidity. It brings the consciousness. It brings like the less argumentative, and it brings acceptability more than the patience. It brings acceptability. So, like we teach, I teach NLP. So flexibility is the core idea which I'm sharing with my clients, or when I teach to or I train to the corporate clients. So the flexibility is the biggest issue, is the biggest challenge, uh, along with the acceptability, because we are going through still, we are campaigning the word patience, but I'm believing more than patience, we need to bring acceptability. Why? Because it helps us like to gather and to bring everyone uh, closer to us, and it brings interconnectedness. So the next core idea of education is to become idea machine. So what I noticed that I've been like talking to the corporate people and the corporate CEOs and the educationists. So the purpose of education is not just to getting the degree or to getting the job, or because we people for centuries it's happening. We are just getting education to become the part of some slot of some economic revival. So that's not the purpose. So we need to become idea machine. We need to come up with a lot of ideas, and it happens when we come up with exposure. We come up with a different kind of uh, education, or it comes with an interconnectedness. So the core idea of education. Uh, One more thing like we need to bring in our life is to inner intelligence where we are lacking. And we need, and it helps. It only comes in our life when we are uh, connected from our inner soul, and we revamp, and we bring the next level consciousness to it. So the core idea of education, if we get a sum up in one line, so we need to bring attention to the right attention, like how to connect with the people, how to learn relationship, and how to address those core challenges what everyone is facing in their life and flexibility. And we got to become the idea machine. So because today is amazing day, and I would get the liberty to talk about what we could not do. And we've been, these are the pitfalls in orthodox kind of education. Number one is what I could learn in my last more than 2 decades, that the education system is depriving us from the practical life. Unfortunately, the schools, they are fake in education because I investigated and I had interviewed with a young kids. So if you personally investigate or you talk to the young students or students, they would love to go back home. So that's the beautiful and the charismatic moment in their life because they want to go back home. They want to go back home. They don't want to stay at school. They don't want to stay because if we particularly, if we could focus on just school. So let's talk about school today. So schools are depriving us and have been depriving us even in the past. That school is fake in education and it's a fake in the life. We don't experience, we're not experiencing the practical stuff or the things at the school. We don't feel great at the school. We want to go back home. I investigate a lot of things like, why do you want to go back home? This is so we can enjoy a lot at home. Why? Because we can drink coffee, we can sleep, okay? And at home, we can use the gadgets and we have internet facility at home. I have my LED, I have a computer. I can do a lot of stuff at home, which is not provided at the school. Even my own kids, my elder son, 11, when he was growing up. So I asked him, he one day he complained to me, he said, Papa, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go to school. I said, then what to do? Because we have no other choice. And he told me, Papa, can we make our home a school? Wow, gobsmacked. That wasn't a nice idea. So that day, I started to preach at the school. Let's make school like, or let's make our classroom like the drawing room, and let's make it a fun place where students can experience something differently and they can feel great. So why students want to stay? They don't want to stay at school. Why? Because they don't feel great. So that's why they have all facilities when they go back home. So number two thing, what I could see why schools are faking, why I'm personally not been liking at the school. Why? Because I just wanted to study drawing, but along with drawing, I've been studying so many subjects. So it was like obsessive compulsive disorder. So I was just studying many subjects for one subject. So schools are not giving choices. If I get to open a school, so I would be doing like that. that if some student wants to study drawing, so there would be level 1, 2, 3, and there must be 100 levels for drawing. So no need to study other subjects. So you just need to go with one subject. What you love to do, what you like to do, what is the most important to do, so you can do it at the school. So we along with the subject. So these are my findings with the students that told me. And one more thing students told me, that we can't have meet up with our junior students, or we can't spend time with our senior students. So we are just confined in one classroom. I can't be caged. Students don't want to be caged in one room. And I've been recommending to all the teachers in subcontinent, in China, and everywhere in the world, classroom is not a study room. Classroom is just a place where you can put your bag, your backpack. This is a place where you can come for your lunch or for your breakfast. And this is a place where you can come for taking rest. One of my students said, I don't want to go to school. The reason why, because there's no space for me. I want to sleep. I want to sleep, so there's no bedroom available. One student complained, I just want to comb my head, so there is no such a place. All right. So one student complains, I want to take coffee, or I want to take tea, I want to enjoy the spaghetti, or I just want to enjoy other things, so not available at the school. So schools are caging the students, and they are not given liberty to spend a practical life, because schools are depriving us. And one more thing, what I personally noticed, that the sitting plan in our school is just breaking up the teamwork. So because in practical life, we need to work with the people, we need to work with the team. So schools, they are depriving. Uh, I'm not talking about every school, I'm not talking about every country, right? So we just need to look around us like what is happening. So the classroom environment is breaking up the teamwork. All right. It's not allowing us to gel, because in practical life, we have to interact with people, we have to work with people. But in a classroom, you see the students, they have the different kind of sitting plan. They are sitting in isolation. So even they can't consult. So education must be the problem based, all right, and the classroom must be like in a U shape, or must be like in a circle, or it must be, like, where people can gel up, where the people can discuss with each other anything. So, and one more thing what I could find, uh, because in classroom, we don't allow students to make mistakes. Students, they are supposed to perform 100%. They are just supposed to give 100% in their class, and students are so scared with the red circles. So schools are creating a lot of fears, and in schools, the classrooms are becoming the passion sucker machines. So classroom must be a place where you can come and you can experience, and you must be allowed to make any kind of mistake. And here, it's not just a classroom, it's just like a laboratory where you are allowed, to make mistakes. You have the teachers. I mostly recommend it to the classrooms, to the teachers, to the schools, because I've trained thousands of schools. So I recommend it. So you need to develop one call center for your students, for uh, like after school time for 6 to 8 hours, 4 hours, or like it's up to you. If students are like paying money, or it must be like the value-added thing for the schools, there must be call center. So there must be teachers available. If students having a problem, so they can call, all right, or they can make a call with the teachers to fix their issues, for fix their challenges. So school, and like the teachers, they are teachers for 24 hours. So they must take some personal responsibility, because a lot of teachers, they complain that we're going to be teaching in a class for what we are paying off. So we are not paying off being passionate. So it's not the job. It's kind of, it's a 24-hour work, and teachers are never perfect. Teachers are less than 60 million people all over the globe. I mostly tell to the teachers, there are two types of people in the world, teachers and other people. All right, so you are the most significant people on the globe. You are born to bring a 360-degree shifting of the globe. It's up to you. It's really to you to build up the nation. Well, so a classroom must not provide an environment where the students must be feeling caged, okay? They must be feeling free, okay? Even I disagree with the uniform idea, like in students, they're mostly complying that I just want to put on the casuals, okay? I feel putting casual, it's okay because you're gonna be you, okay? I am what I am. So must be allowed to come up with your real situation. So it's maybe the third world the country's issues, or maybe the people like make it at the cost of discipline. That must people come up and I don't believe in uniform. You can come up. There must be no uniform. There must be because this is not a discipline. At the cost of discipline, we are doing a lot of other things. Discipline, I mean to do the most important thing first. Okay, the most important thing which can make an impact on your life. So standing in line is not a discipline, okay? Or just put in a uniform is not a discipline. Discipline is something different. So it not must be and it must not be confused like with the uniform things. Okay, so I talked to so many teachers and they talked about and the students. So also students, this is the bad news for everyone because I'm also teachers. So how many teachers do you remember in your life? Very few, I guess. Very few. So you only can remember the teachers who can make you laugh, who can make you happy, like Jenny Rapster, like initiated today. That's very, 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 amazing thing. Like, happiness, can bring a lot of things. If somebody asks me, like, what comes first in your life, happiness or education, so I would say happiness first. I would love to bring fun into my class. I love to bring love, kindness, and fun into my class. I personally, when I start my class, I do different kind of attention grabbers, and I can use different kind of callbacks. Like if my students, they are not attentive to me, so I don't yell at them. I don't shout at them. I mostly say, oh,
I think Mike is having some
back,
issues with that. Yeah,
I'm
he's
back.
back. Okay,
Back.
please.
So it's usually, it happens when it's a lot of glitches and internet issues is everyone. It's now a universal problem. Hopefully you will tolerate. All right. Even I don't believe in tolerance. I believe in acceptability. Still, tolerance has some caution, or I don't believe in tolerance. I don't believe in patience. I believe in acceptability. Hopefully, you all are with me. All right. So what I do when my students they distract in my class, I don't yell at them, I don't shout at them. So I say, focus, focus, everybody focus, 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 everybody focus. Or sometime when during my class, I have taken this responsibility in my class when my students they are distracted, or sometime I'm not 100%. I have a bad news for all the teachers. Students in your classroom, they don't accept anything less than 100%. They always accept more than 100%. So when they are distracted, or when I'm distracted, when I'm not giving 100%, so my students, they get distracted, all right? So I get them distracted. I lose their concentration. I have taken this responsibility. So I always talk in different way. Sometimes I say, Tootsie Roll, Lollipop. Tootsie Roll, Lollipop. We've been talking, now let's talk. We've been talking, now let's talk. So I bring a lot of fun, and sometimes my students they get distracted. All right, they start nudging, pulling each other. So what I do, macaroni and cheese, and everyone say, everybody freeze. Macaroni and cheese, everybody freeze. So I use callbacks and these kind of things. So making my classroom a fun place. I'm making my classroom the best and valuable place for my the internal client for my students because I treat them as a client. So students complain that we are not allowed to use gadgets. So if I'd be opening a school, so my students would be allowed, like at a Destra school, like it's a synthesizing. So I want to congratulate to Johnny Rapstad and a few most valuable trainers are also here and they are working with Madhavi. So we are like giving online trainings to different students, and they are capable of the same intelligence level. Okay, we are not looking at their age because in the class, I don't believe in their ages. I believe in the level of intelligence. All right, like the Desta school, so we can bring that kind of aptitude or that kind of attitude in our classroom, you will see you would have the best results. So we are like Jenny Rapster and I and other people, like we are giving training to the Rajasthan students. That's amazing experience. And that's, I think, the best idea for our students. We need to inculcate more and more IT tools into it. Why? Because I believe in next couple of decades, like everything would be synthesized online. And I think we are wasting a lot of energy in case of buildings, in case of like the resources we are putting into it. So I am hoping, hope is not even a strategy. I'm believing that we can do a lot of stuff, a lot of things online, but we have to be more
Was really a very interesting session. Yeah, again,
yeah,
it's really interesting. Yes, sir. Please continue.
I'm back here. I'm back here. Yes. Hello, everybody there.
Yes, everybody is here.
All right, all right. So students, in the classroom, they sometimes they have to accept everything without any logic or reasoning. That's not fair. So if I would be a teacher, so if I would be given one question, so I would be given some choices, like four choices. So I would recommend every choice is okay. All right. So you must come up with the reasoning. You must come up with the logic. You must come up with the explanation. And every answer must be given grades. Okay. Every answer must be because like at Destra school, they have eliminated the typing, they have eliminated the handwriting, they are introducing the typing, and they are eliminating the tools to solve the problems. They are just coming up with a problem. So if you have a problem, so if there are 40 students in your session or in your class, so there must be 40 solutions for it. All right. So we don't need to give them tools. We need to give them a problem. All right. And a problem-based education. Well, so if I would be a teacher, so I would be bringing more and more entrepreneurship into my students' lives. Why? Because by end of the day, so we don't need to wait. We need to get them involved, and we need to help them to start as early as possible their own business and entrepreneurs. Why? Because by end of the day, they need money. So they are looking at us, and most of the students, they are not learning again because we are depriving uh, our students from the practical life. So I would be teaching them entrepreneurship. I would be helping them how to dream big, how to take risks, and how to be perseverance, to bring perseverance in their life. And most importantly, we are teaching students success, but I believe we need to teach our students how to persevere and how to focus while you are getting failures. That's the point. We need to teach them what to do when you are getting failed. We need to teach them how to be consistent and how to be persistent and how to bring perseverance in their life. And that's where everyone we are lacking. All right. So I don't believe in curriculums and syllabuses. I believe differently. I believe very openly, and like a Justice School, there is no curriculum. All right. So And NLP says we need to learn something which is coming after 500 years. And unfortunately, we are learning what has begun, what's passed away. So we are not learning about the future. So we need to inculcate the NLP techniques as well. We need to bring kinesthetic language. I'm teaching my students body language. I'm teaching my students how to build relationship. I'm teaching my students how to focus at the point like where you are getting failures and how to get up when you are knocked down in your life. I'm teaching my students how to win over others and how to make more friends, how to make the positive contacts into the profitable networks because it's a networking time. I'm synthesizing. I'm helping my students to learn more and more through IT. Okay, even I'm teaching them to understand people while they are telling a lie because body speaks more than your words. Words are just 7%, and we are speaking 93% from our body. My students are learning everything like what can help them in their private life. Thank you very much. I think I took more than the allocated time. And really, congratulations, everyone, for your patience because a couple of times, like I was disconnected. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, really.
Thank you very much, sir. And your words are really appreciable. The way you talked about how we teachers, we educators should behave with the students, that was really commendable, sir. Just like you can just see how, as you were about to finish, it was like if it would have been in a hall or an auditorium, I think it would be like a standing ovation for you. I could see everyone clapping for you. So they were so precious for each and every word was so precious. It is really precious for all the educators, not only who are present in the meeting now, but everyone who must be listening to us either now during the live or whenever they watch us. And in fact, like you talk about acceptability, flexibility, and yes, of course, the sentence that I loved the most was classroom is not a study room. And yes, we mostly do that. We have a meeting and we have to finish
Absolutely
it. We are
right.
always in the
And
rooms.
I'm really
Yeah, that was
happy
the
when I
most
see
beautiful.
Johnny and other trainers like they are working with the young kids
Yeah,
because this is the external cost like what we can pay to our students and we can help them with our experience. So yeah, and I want to congratulate you all. All are putting all your best.
thank you, sir, and congratulations for being a part of this wonderful summit. And do we have Maha ma'am with us? I think she's not there.
Appreciate it, really.
So yeah, so we can invite the next speaker. Yes, it is Nahid, sir. So over to you, Nahid, sir. We would like to listen from you. Another great educator from India. Over to you, sir.
I
So
am
please
Nahid Raza.
introduce yourself.
Yeah, introducing. Thank you, Anju ma'am. I am Nahid Raza. I am principal of Acme School of Learning. I am from Uttarakhand, North India, India. So first of all, I would like to congratulate and appreciate the efforts made by Sonal ma'am. She has been providing very good platform, intellectual platform to us, and we have been developing. Not only we are developing, our staff is developing, students are developing. So thumbs up to respected Sonal Judge ma'am. She is very particular about educational efforts, and my sincere gratitude to ma'am as well. As Littman was speaking and has spoken on a variety of things related to education, my sincere salutation to Mike sir. And right, and small kids must be kept in mind while having them in the class. And sir was talking about that classroom is not study room. So sir was generally specifically was talking about learning management, and the topic given to me today is educational habits for better performance. Every individual is 38% automated, means due to habits. So, educational habits are very good habits. For example, reading, observation, writing, speaking on educational things, collaborating, teaching, and attending fairs, workshops, discussions, right? So, the purpose of life is liberty. And how do we liberate ourselves? Discipline, habits, and good habits liberate us. And education is the tool through which we can liberate ourselves very easily. And having educational habits will definitely be leading us towards living better life and having better performance in academics, in life skills, everywhere in social aspect as well. So the foremost thing for educational habits is increased lifelong learning. When we keep on learning, we become better human being. We live in society and we serve society. We understand the people, we have empathy, and understanding them is serving them because we understand them. And we can live in the society in a better ways. Adaptability. Today, as you know, technology is developing very fast. We are talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, right? So everything is going very fast. So idea today is to be adaptable, to embrace, to accept the changes taking place in society. And when educational habits are there, many things are automated. We have time for creativity and innovation. What I'm doing in my school nowadays is you bring a new game and you get 20 minutes from me. Children will have automation. Children will have physical drill. Children will play. And when they play, their 18% productivity goes up in terms of assimilating and inculcating things. And moreover, activities are new, right? And children focus on these activities. And when games are played, children have fun, they are happy. As Mike was telling, no, that children are not willing to come to school. So our school dynamics should be such that children must tell their parents that I want to go to school. They want to come to school. The scenario should be such. How can it be possible when new things were there? And we have very good examples. I love to state Leonardo da Vinci, very curious. So curiosity can be generated among students when new games are played because 20-minute chunk is very small. One parent came to me 2 3 days ago. He was telling that he gives 3 hours to himself for physical activities. I told him, you are not wasting time. You are using your 19 hours in a productive manner. You can sleep better, you can think better, you can be good human being because happiness is there. And when you are happy, you transfer happiness. Right? So educational habits are very, very essential, and they, in fact, their beauty in disguise. Better problem solving skills, and we when we have one specific habits, when we are automated and the leftover space, leftover time could be used for solving problems. As Anju ma'am knows that she is generally the anchor, that I generally focus on problem solving skills because we are part of problem solving things. We are not problem creators, we are problem solvers because everyone has problem. So we need to be their problem solvers if we wish to be well-wisher, good human being. So problem solving should be there of every individual. The bigger problem you sort out, the bigger things you are doing for society. Right? Critical thinking, very, very essential. How can we take decision if we are busy and we right busy? So how can we take decision? If you want to be the master, first of all, develop good habits. Then it is very easy to be master. Process is very easy. First, we need to recognize gift, develop that gift, and distribute that gift. That is the purpose of life. With liberty, it is possible, right? Expertise, we can become expert in any field we want because educational habits are there. When habits are formed, we can put our 20,000 hours to develop that skill, and we will be definitely be one day number one in the world. And yes, being number one means having the most responsibility to serve people in a beautiful manner, in a cordial manner, in lovely manner, like in submissive manner. So you will see world is yours, and world will be definitely be welcoming you, right? And yes, when you become the master, your duty is to make other master, mentor them, give them proper leadership. You develop leadership when you become leader. So educational habits, this topic has been given by me, given to me by Sonal ma'am. My sincere gratitude to her, because she generally coins outstanding topics, and she is a very good educator, good human being, and she keeps on thinking about education. And yes, industry also recognizes you if you are educator. So all teachers will respect you. Where can you find Sonal ma'am? Where can you find Anju ma'am? Where can you find Michael ma'am? On which platform are they speaking? So people will start searching, right? So, and these electronic tools, these devices will help you reaching you, because you all are doing wonderful job, right? So networking opportunities, sir was talking about networking opportunities. When we are master, we are expert, we are dedicating our life for one particular cause, that is social cause, beautiful cause. So you will have very good networking, and people will start recognizing you, and they would be in touch with you, they would like to establish contact with you, right? And connections, social connections are very, very important, because whatever we are doing for humanity, and everyone must be benefited with the efforts we are making. And we need to develop sorry, we need to develop good relationship, because relationship is superpower, learning is superpower, clarity is superpower. So first of all, we should try to learn, developing good relationship and educational habits. Develop good relationship. When you have good relationship, you have longevity, you love happily, you share things happily, and you make this world livable, better, beautiful, wiser, right? And yes, when you have educational habits, you start recognizing yourself. When you recognize yourself, you know your strength. When you know your strength, you work on your strength, and your strength becomes 10-fold, 20-fold, 100-fold, right? You keep on developing yourself, and you keep on serving the people around, even distant people, right? Mother Teresa said, no, if peace will prevail in this world when a stranger starts loving a stranger. So even if strangers are there, we should try to love and give our expertise, and we should learn from them, right? So emotional intelligence also develops. There are lot many things we develop due to educational habit. Time is very less. My sincere salutation, gratitude to respect Sonal ma'am for coining, for establishing such good topics. And I would like to thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you.
So excellent and amazing speakers, and I like you. Roman and Ree.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Naiso. That was really great and precious work coming from you. And of course, we need to be problem solvers for everything. In fact, not as educators, but as human beings, we need to be problem solvers, because sometimes we just fail to solve the problem. We actually, the way we handle the problems, we go on creating more problems for ourselves sometimes. And the next thing that you told, we should recognize ourselves. Your self-awareness, that is very much important, because we just spend time in knowing others, knowing what they are doing, how they are doing. Okay, but before that, let's know ourselves. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? If we have some kind of weakness, we should try to improve upon it. So that was really great listening to you. Thank you very much for joining, and congratulations for being a part of this education summit. So now it's time to call upon our next speaker, Gulbin ma'am. Is she there, Mitches? Cannot see her actually. Yeah, she's not there. So nextly, I would like to call upon our next speaker, Rania Lampo ma'am from Greece.
Greetings from Athens, from everyone. I'm so happy to see you all today. Many thanks to Dr. Sonal for setting up this special event. It is with great pleasure that I welcome all of you, me too. here where we come together as a community of educators, of learners at the same time, and thinkers. Actually, at the heart of the approach I will focus on today is what we call context-sensitive teaching, which is closely related with what we call culturally responsive teaching, a philosophy that actually respects and celebrates differences. And what does this mean for us? It means we recognize that learning is not a one-size-fits-all journey. Each of us brings our own cultural backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences to the table. And it's our responsibility to create a space where everyone's voice is heard, where every experience is valued. So as I begin my thoughts, I encourage each of you to reflect on the context in which you learn best. Think about the moments in your life when learning felt truly meaningful and personal. So our goal is to cultivate this sense of relevance and connection in everything we do as educators. So context-sensitive teaching refers to this practice of adapting instructional methods, materials, and strategies to the specific context in which teaching and learning take place. So this approach obviously recognizes that the effectiveness of teaching is influenced by a variety of factors such as cultural or social, environmental, and institutional contexts. And by being responsive to these factors, educators can create a more relevant, more engaging, more effective learning experiences for their students. So what would be the key aspects of this kind of teaching, especially in societies like Greek society, where we have a lot of minorities, a lot of refugees in our classes. So multicultural societies is something which is inevitable. First of all, what we call cultural relevance. This means teaching is adapted to the cultural backgrounds of students, so students' languages, values, traditions into lessons. And this is related, of course, with learner-centered approaches, with socioeconomic considerations, take account the economic and social realities of students' life, which might affect access to resources, technology, textbook, or influence teaching strategies. The environmental context, because this involves teaching to the physical environment, whether in rural or urban or international settings, and utilizing available resources. For example, rural schools may focus on local ecological or agricultural themes, while urban schools might incorporate issues of social justice or city planning. Of course, institutional policies and resources, because teachers must align their instruction with the policies, with expectations and resources of the school or educational system that they're working in, while also at the same time finding creative ways to adapt their methods within this construct. And linguistic considerations, of course, in classrooms for students speak multiple languages, so context-sensitive teaching may involve incorporating bilingual or multilingual instruction to ensure comprehensive participation. Community involvement, engage the local community in the learning process, is something which helps bridge the gap between school and real-world experiences of students. And what will be the benefit of this type of teaching? Increased engagement, definitely, because when teaching is relevant to students' life, they're more likely to engage with the material. More improved learning outcomes, because these approaches can make lessons more accessible, helping students understand and retain information better, and more inclusivity. So how this context-sensitive teaching differs from traditional one-size-fits-all approach? Of course, it's more adaptable, it's more adaptability. It tailors instruction to the unique needs and circumstances of students. It's more culturally and socially relevant, so emphasizes the importance of integrating students' language and experiences into the curriculum. Of course, it's more learner-centered, it's more flexibility in methods and assessment also, and more responsiveness to external factors, because we take into account here factors beyond the classroom, such as family background, community challenges, available resources. So more dynamic environments, embrace flexibility in both content and delivery, create dynamic learning environments where the curriculum evolves based on students' changing needs and the local environment. Different role of teachers, because now teachers are facilitators or guides who work collaboratively with students, using their insights and backgrounds to shape the learning process. More inclusivity, By addressing specific learning needs, ensuring that instruction is equitable and accessible to diverse learners, including those with special needs or language barriers. So in essence, we could see that context-sensitive teaching is highly adaptable, is highly learner-centered, inclusive. On the other hand, traditional approaches are standardized, are content-focused, and uniform. A traditional approach emphasizes efficiency, uniformity across all learners. On the other hand, the context-sensitive teaching is something which seeks to connect learning with the real lives and needs of students. So what are the key now factors that teachers need to consider when implementing these kind of strategies? First, they need to take into account the cultural background of students, so diversity in cultural language, avoid stereotypes. If we talk about socioeconomic content, of course, we need to take to be mindful of the varying levels of access to resources such as technology or even transportation to school, the home environment. Differentiated instruction, this is related with learning needs and abilities, so the student-centered approaches, community, environmental factors. For local context, for example, teachers should consider the specific characteristics of the community where students live, incorporating local issues, traditions, or histories into lessons can make the learning experience more relevant. Real-world connections and school policies also in curriculum, so teachers need to navigate the constraints and opportunities provided by the school's curriculum, by assessment policies and institutional goals. So all these social emotional factors, yes, because students' emotional health and sense of safety can deeply affect learning. So teachers should be attentive to students' emotional needs also, creating an inclusive and supportive classroom environment. And this also is related with trauma-informed teaching. For students who have experienced trauma or instability, teachers need to approach instruction with sensitivity. We have seen how students are becoming more and more difficult and more aggressive nowadays, so difficult to handle because they suffer from traumatic events, traumatic incidents maybe in their family environment and the social environment around them. And take into account the background knowledge, the prior knowledge and experiences in order to try to bridge gap. So for students who lack foundational knowledge due to different educational backgrounds, for these students, teachers may need to provide scaffolding or tailored instruction to help them catch up. So all these considerations, alongside with linguistic considerations, multilingualism, in classrooms where students speak different languages, we need to adapt here our methods to ensure language is not a barrier to learning. And language support the classroom dynamics, social dynamics in the classroom, such as peer relationships or group work dynamics and the student-teacher interactions are crucial. So teachers should create a positive and inclusive classroom environment where all students feel valued, feel respected, feel loved, feel encouraged to participate. And technology, as Mike said, mentioned about technology, digital literacy. Teachers should assess the availability of technology in the classroom at home at the same time, so more technology innovation and more feedback. So how can teachers incorporate these cultural backgrounds? By learning about the student cultures individually, by focus on culturally relevant content, not stereotypes, by using authentic, varied resources, by fostering what we call student-led exploration, by focusing on universal themes with cultural specificity, by teaching critical thinking around cultural representations, by using inclusive curriculum design and engaging always in continuous learning. Some examples of culturally relevant teaching practices that we have seen, we need to wanted to mention. First of all, when we use cultural diverse literature, for example, in English or literature class, teachers incorporate books or short stories or poems written by authors from diverse cultural backgrounds. This way we can expose students to a variety of cultural perspectives and help them see their own experience reflected in the curriculum. When we connect, for example, maths to real-world cultural contexts, a math teacher might design lessons that incorporate culturally relevant problems. For example, in a classroom with students from a cultural community, math problems could involve calculating crop yields or exploring local agricultural data. In urban settings, math lessons could involve budgeting or budgeting for local events or analyzing data from community projects. So many best practices all incorporate student home languages. In bilingual or multilingual classrooms, we use both the students' home languages and the language of instruction to facilitate learning. When we, in general, celebrate cultural practices and holidays, when we implement project-based learning and cultural identity, when we try to integrate social justice and equity discussions, all this community-based learning, which is also entailed by all this philosophy, and student-led investigations, discussions, peer teaching, art and music integration, also from multiple cultures, culturally responsive classroom management and assessment practices also. All these are very effective strategies. Social emotional support also mentioned. Of course, there are some challenges that have to do usually with time constraints, with how to balance individual and group needs, with a lack of resources, with when we deal with large class sizes, what is happening there, more teacher training expertise, which is needed, and some when we need to face some behavioral, social, emotional challenges. There is also usually the resistance to change. Some teachers may face resistance from students, from parents, or even colleagues when trying to implement the new teaching strategies that deviate from traditional. There's difficulty in assessing also progress. We need more assessment frameworks. Of course, technology innovation, we need to be always updated how to create inclusive group dynamics. So all these challenges, but of course, professional development and training is a strategy to overcome these challenges. Collaboration, flexible curriculum design, peer support network is always the key. By concluding, I want to say that actually culturally responsive teaching alongside with context-sensitive teaching is one of the most promising, I think, philosophies and teaching methodologies nowadays, because we need to be realistic and we need to take into consideration that societies have changed, societies evolve, and diversity inclusion is a new norm nowadays. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Of course, like you were talking, that was really a great presentation and practice. As we were talking about the social and emotional support, that was very much required. And moreover, the most beautiful thing that you talked about was more support to the teachers training. And it is also required, because we talk so much how the education system is changing, how children are changing nowadays, and how their expectations are changing. So we educators have to actually learn to adapt to that. We cannot just rely on the techniques that we used a few years ago. We have to keep on changing ourselves, and we have to keep on updating. And of course, teachers training will really help a lot, because there are many countries, where we can see the teachers are not given that avenues for training. So teachers should be encouraged, and of course, like we call faculty empowerment was very, very important. Thank you, Dr. Rania. It was really great listening to you. And this is
the Metamorphosis group. I want to say this is the Metamorphosis group. All the team are doing amazing work in promoting quality professional development courses and sessions. And this is very important and valuable. Thank you.
Yeah, and of course, as we were talking about cultural exchange, so here we can see the people who have joined from different countries. So, and we are sharing so much, and of course, we are sharing and we are learning from each other. So now let's move on to our next speaker from Indonesia, that is Diana Sari Tiga. If I'm not able to pronounce properly, so just sorry for that. Yes, she is there. Over to you.
Thank you. Hello, greetings from Sumba Island of East Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. I am Yana Suritiga, 42 years old. I am not graduation from the college or university, but I am only graduation from the senior high school, the lowest education from you all. Well done. Tonight, I would like to tell you about the education. Education is the icons of the life. Education is a big reason or a burden in life as human beings. Well, it's passing of the knowledge in fundamental part of our life. You and I depend on education to keep the world flowing the right way for directions as we can move on. Even with that mind increasing more advanced with even more things to learn. With that in mind, fact, we can learning about listening to the people who's talking on the phone. We can learn to listening from the people who's talking on the radio, people from the broadcasting or television set, on the people who's talking in the speakers like you are and I. Anyone's talking here, I'm listening from yours. Maybe from the Mr. Mike, from the Mr. Lamb, from the Mr. Asia, on everyone here on the speaker line. So also we can learning from about reading. We can reading from the news papers, from the magazines, broadcasting of anything. From there we can learning. We can be having experience and new knowledge from another people. So and also we can learning how to be a writer. Writers we can do write whatever we listen to from another people. Whatever we write from the newspaper or magazine, we can do rewrite. We write down anything and then we expose to another people's or we can expose the writings. Maybe me as a tourist guide, I can do writing about the itinerary of as a tourism. I can do writing about the things for a student. I can do writing about everything about films, essay, and articles about education. That is about education. Because there is a saying about education, long life education. Why long life education? Education is the icon from our living as human beings. Education in progress for us, for our future. Through of education, we can be a brilliant people, a brilliant speakers, because we are learning from another speakers. We can learning from another writer or another readers. So from this moment, from this event, I would like to say that education is the materials is in junior high schools, general high schools, uh, vocational high schools, and the level up from the progress of college and university. So from the beginning of us, we know about education. Nobody can live without education because education is important. Education is number one in our living. That's all the problems as a human being. Anyone doesn't have education, they are foolish. They never know about the rules. But we are education. We are in educated because we are learning from the teachers. If I am a student, if you are a teacher, you can teach me about a life as human being. If you are a teacher, you can teach me how to be a great student. That's about the writing. I go back again to the left of about writing. So everything in program, everything's in progress. So from this project, I say yes, okay, from this through of these programs or projects, we are going unravel for fundamental necessities and icon designs of functions, the functionals of education, and without further ado, a kid, a student, or other people does know about it. So the rules without further students who doesn't know about it, as you and I and all the people should be knows about education. It's all about communicator. It's all about communication. Right? Communication. I'm speaking. I'm searching for the relation from another people, from the foreigners, about you from India, from the Japan, from the Spain. That is called education. From those people coming from different country and different cultures and arts. There I'm learning about our living. So did you think that the education can bring us be brightly? Did education can make us be brilliant? That's my question. If it is important in our living, that can be organization and so on. Skills can be organized by our skill to talking. So certainly to help us our quest for success or lucky time. About like we can get success through education, school level of development. Our skill experience develop. Our skill education to prepared, but education will never live, but it can live itself. Again, I say education not preparation for life, but education is life itself. We are the people just going by the education. When you trust and believe, you and I and believe, it can be growing up. It life in our body, in our minds and souls. That is called education. So if we're talking about education, last time, but I become an honorary teacher at a secondary school. There I'm teaching about English for a grade 1, grade 2, and a grade 3. Even besides from the schools, I'm also preparing myself for the private class at home. First, I educate the students around of my house, of my village. I collect them, I ask them to come to my homes to learning about English, to learning about my language that is Bahasa Indonesia. So as all the people in Indonesia now, they are joining about the independent curriculums. Indonesian, the ministry, the education ministry in Indonesia has has talking about the independent curriculums. They are coming from grade 12, for grade 9 from the secondary high school or junior high schools, and they are coming from grade 1, 2, and 3, grade or grade 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. There are graduations. So the every student they has own interesting to learning about like dancing, interesting to learn about the music, flying of music, storytellers, and writing of poems and anything of them. Mostly of us, through of cultures. Exactly, you and I has different country. Automatically, we have different cultures. Everything we joining in living about education, we have rules. We follow the rules. Why follow the rules? It defines for a living. And basically for education, just now I'm talking that I'm a teacher as honorables in a secondary high school. I teach them, I ask the students to have their own dictionary. Whenever I'm teaching to describe or explaining everything I'm teaching, maybe I'm teaching about the text procedures. Text procedures, it means from the English club, English program. From there, everything I was described after describe and explaining to them, I asked them to make their own dictionary. Why I ask them? Because once this every student create their own dictionary from everything I talk to them, explain, that's very good benefit for the futures for them. And I ask them to do homework. If it is there is the H part for grade for English, like from nouns, verb, pronouns, adjectives. So from there, I ask the students also to make the short sentence like from present tense, past continuous tense. So from there, the three there are therefore four progress of the tenses. From the four progress of tenses, there are 16 program of sentence from tenses: present tense, past tense, past futures, and the futures and the past futures. So from those 10, they can become a paragraph, a short storyteller, short story. From the short story can be become history. They make their own history during wherever they are going, wherever they study, whatever they have to do, they are doing for the experience through of writing. I mean, why I'm asking for them. Once the students writing of the experience through of writing, that is make them can curious whatever for future, can curious whatever they want to do from them, because writing anything experience can help them to growing up, to get their own side for the future in English club or Bahasa. So I'm teaching them through the three language or the many kinds of the local language. I'm teaching from a local language for them, and then extend to the Bahasa Indonesia, and then to English. From English, my national language and the local language. In Sumba Iceland, we have 100 plus local language, but in active it's 72 local language. Whole Indonesia has 1,000 plus local language spreading around. But we have the national language that is Bahasa Indonesia. The international language we're learning that is English. Me, I'm learning English, Spain, Indian like Bahasa Tamil Nadu, Italiano, Brazil, and Portuguese. I can say Buenos, bom dia, seja bem-vinda, Indonesia. Te amo idioma. I love to learning about the every language around the world. In this moment, I'm really happy through of this event. I'm learning from the another speakers, from everyone here about the education. Education in the futures of us really important. It can bring us to be brilliant people as human beings. I teach us the old people around whenever I go for tourism. I teach them about English because most of the people in the village, they didn't know of English. I teach them with my national language to English. I teach them to writing exactly. I ask them to write, and then they repeat to speak up. Whatever I talk to them, I speak up and I ask them to repeat by their own voice. So from that, I can, or maybe you and I can bring the societies around, can having skills, implement to improve their skills to be the best. I think nobody perfect in this world. I'm not perfect at all, but I will be perfect speaker because enforcing by yours, because I'm learning anything from yours. As I'm talking about the icons of education in our living, there is really problems in a life. So in the fasting knowledge, can be with in that mind increasing more advanced with even more things to learn everything like about education, like a baby who just born, the baby who's has a age maybe around small baby underneath of 5 years. We teach them how to speak. Education, it is like education. We teach them to speak. We teach them to walk. We teach them to run and jump and get down. We teach them how to speak slowly, like polite speaking habits. We are learning, they are learning from us as the parents. They are learning from us as a teachers because we are the icon for the students. We are the icon for the baby, or we are the icon for the children. Why? Children can learn from us, or the students can learn from us. We are the topic cards or icon for the students at the schools. Every progress in the school has rules. Students must be come on time. Students must be do their homework. Students must be tidy up and do everything of their homework or task. Students must be learning about the plight, about the characteristic each one of them. We are as teachers, we must learn about their characteristics. Students also, they have habitats to learn about our characteristics as a teacher. It's not all of us as a teacher who's learning about the students' character, but the student also can learn about our habitats or characters. What they are also chosen who will become the favorite teachers, right? Me too. When I become a teacher last time, I'm really learning the students how they are habitats, what they want, what the favorite programs they want. One day, the students in the year 2013, when I'm still teaching there in secondary school, there is a very lazy student. Every time when the English club has, she will be run out from the class. One day, I'm really headache, but I'm not angry for them. I'm keep searching that students around the village until I get her. I bring back her to the schools. I teach them with pleasures, with the politely, with my very lovely sounds. I speak to her. Hey, why you don't follow my programs? The students say to me, I remember, Miss, I don't know how to speak English. I don't know how to write down. I'm stupid. I'm badly. I said to her, no, you're not badly. You are not stupid. But you will be smart when you'll keep learning by yourself. So I asked them to learn with me every moment, every day. I go to meet her in their house. Even I ask the students to come to my house. I give a very private learning to her. I teach her until she get proof in her English. Luckily, I'm very happy. Last year, she finally graduation from her programs of English, English graduation, special English. That is, there's original English from the university. I'm so happy. I mean, oh my God, I'm so happy when the students, lazy students, I keep searching for her to go back to school. I bring back her to schools. She become a teacher now. She's an English teacher again in the secondary high schools. And there is another student again, that is the man. He is very lazy to go to schools. Mathematics programs income, the English programs income every week. He will be gone from the schools. Every teacher say, hey Yana, can you help us to find that student? Yes, I can. I go to her village, to his village also, until I find him as back to school. I bring back him to schools. I never angry to the school. I never hit them, but I give them a task like when they have problems with me, when they have something problem, not do their homework. I ask them sit up, go Tom. I ask them sit up in the classroom. I never touch them. I'm not, and even I am looks like rude, but I am not rude. I am very kindly to teach them in the classroom whenever I ask them. So If I am not there in teaching, the students always come to my home. They ask to me, please, ma'am, help us to learning of English. Help us to learning about the arts and culture. I help them. With pleasure, I help them. Even I'm already I stopped to teaching at the secondary high school since 2014. But until now, the students still come in my home. They ask for help. With pleasure, I help them. I give them homework to do in their house. I help them to do the homework from the schools. I help them to describe, to write down about anything from the one text. I help them to create with another text. So, I mean, whatever I do for them, that is blessed for them because whatever I even touch, I spend a lot of time with the students around of me, but I feel happy. I'm so happy. They get blessed from me. I'm also get blessed from them. So, in other side, I'm talking about the tourist guide, basically, or my uh, background, education, me as a tourist guide. Once I go to the village, I bring a tourist from your country or another country. So I'm with pleasure to teaching the societies or the people in the village. Even they are coming from the rank, I teach them about everything. I teach them how to do the handicraft. I ask them. So I help them to teach them about English from their language to my national language and English. They are happy with me. That is my habit. I'm not spectacular speaker. I am not spectacular teacher, but I keep trying to help students and the people or societies around of me to learning about the English. That is education. To learning about them everything. Even they are coming from the societies, they are coming their background of living just only the rank, the background of living. They don't have anything. Even they are the students. I'm always for them. I mean, this live alive, once alive. I'm not alone, but alive. I have a lot of people who want to help me, and that a lot of people needs my help to them. And I trusting about the God say to me, the Lord of Jesus said, we are the people who need each other. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Of forever, we build up a life together. We build up education together to bring other people, to bring the students be brilliant and get their brightly time. We kept because of their education, we can get out from the darkness living to get our brilliant times or brightest. Because our future is never dark, but will be fine. How about Mr. Mike? Yes. So I have a question. I have a question. What do you think if the people doesn't know about education? How the people can learning of your language, can learning of your characteristics if they are not they're being
Yeah, really,
educated?
really appreciate for your question. And yes, I don't believe in teaching. I believe in showing up. So this is like what the mission is. And we are kind of missionary. So I've been like teaching English to almost many nations, and even like they had no English backgrounds for what I teach. So I don't need any kind of English learning backgrounds or any English study material is required, even no intelligence is required. We just need people and we just teach them like a language, right? So that's not like subjective things. So I just believe in showing up. I don't believe in teaching. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And yes, of course, as Mike sir said, that he does not believe in teaching, he believes in showing. That was a great thought. And it was great listening to you, Yana ma'am. The way you were sharing with us about your experience, it was very great listening to you. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for the insightful sharing. So now it's time to move on to our next speaker, and our next speaker for the summit is Dr. Leoncio Calderon, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. We have a typhoon Christine raging outside, ravaging our countryside with floods, and about several millions now are underwater. I mean, houses. So when we talk about resilience, flexibility, and as discussed by my friend Mike and also my distinguished speaker, Dr. Rania. So we're talking about skills to overcome to what makes our students be successful or be creative enough or critical enough to reach for their goals in the future. So it is also an honor to be with you today to discuss a topic that is not only crucial to the future of education in my school, because I own a school with my wife, which is my immediate boss, and I have to serve not only the interest of my school but her interest as well. So it hopefully bodes well also if you have a demanding boss as well as demanding wife at home. Anyway, so my topic today is about sustainability and corporate responsibility, building a better future in my school at St. Mark Integrated School, so SMIS. So my students would always make it a point that instead of having to spell out my school SMIS, they just say it SMIS. So smitten. So I'm smitten by the beauty. When we talk about mitigate. So you make situation less severe. But when it comes to the last name of Mike, Litman, you'll get litigated. So you get into legal legal actions after that. So Mike Litman, you better change your name to something useful. No, I'm just joking. So my partner Virginia is probably uh chuckling over there and giggling anyway. So I'm just getting sleepy. That's why it's almost 12 o'clock here. Anyway, that's the mitigating. So we try to make it less severe with humor. In today's rapidly evolving world, these two principles are vital in shaping a society that values both progress and preservation. In my school, we are proud to incorporate these values into the fabric of our institution, creating a holistic learning environment, as we say, that fosters not only academic excellence but also social responsibility. So remember, sustainability and corporate responsibility that is usually spoused by business, commercial business. But in schools also, we also have to do that, sustainability and corporate responsibility. Let me begin by talking about Smith's unique model of flexible education, which might be have been actually followed by schools around the globe since the pandemic. This model, at its core, represents our commitment to sustainability. It provides students and parents the flexibility to customize the pace, the place, and mode of learning, making education more accessible and resource efficient. The approach is more than just convenient. So we're talking about convenience because nowadays, when you talk about research, with the click of the of Father Google, you'll be able to get to get already the results. So when you're not updated, so if the teacher's always saying, "This is what I knew," and the students just look for the research for that particular topic, then they'll be at a loss, and the students will challenge your views and your knowledge. So it is just wise that you have your AI, your computer, your literacy, technology, information, media literacy to come to play. When we talk about directly with the principles of sustainability, we ensure that the resources, whether material or human, are used in a responsible manner. Our flexible education system offers modular, online, and face-to-face learning, promoting not only academic proficiency but also environmental sustainability. Whether a student has reliable internet, limited access, or no internet at all, SMIS ensures that our school ensures that education is never out of reach. Through modular learning, we reduce the need for physical materials, thereby cutting down on paper use, and promoting the responsible use of resources. Thus, this is a small but significant step towards environmental sustainability. Modular learning as practice in our school is a prime example of how education can adapt to meet the needs of different students while reducing its environmental footprint. For students with strong internet connection, the flexibility to complete work online or in print not only makes learning more efficient, but also reduces the need for paper, as I said, minimizing our environmental impact. For students with limited or no internet, we provide printed modules, ensuring that education remains accessible even in remote areas. This approach demonstrates our commitment to inclusivity, ensuring that no student is left behind. At the same time, it highlights the role of sustainability in shaping a more equitable world. Because sustainability is not just about the environment, it is about creating systems that support everyone. In addition to modular learning, our school also offers online learning options, both synchronous and asynchronous. It is just appalling that our government is trying to go back to the years before pandemic, being strictly face to face, and they're trying to push out or even space out the hybrid education, which has already been shown that we should have been prepared for the next pandemic if there should be, right? So why will our government now be strictly focusing on face to face when it already offered viable viable development and success of our hybrid programs, not only here in the country but the rest of the world? By reducing the need for for commuting and paper-based resources, our online learning programs contribute directly to the reduction of environmental degradation. In synchronous online classes, excuse me, students interact with their teachers in real time, mimicking the traditional classroom experience, but without the need for physical space and transportation. Would you believe that since we're living in not really that chaotic, but in a highly densely high dense urban setup, 2 kilometers, the students who live 2 kilometers and beyond, it will take them 40 minutes. While when you walk towards school, it will only take 10 to 15 minutes. But the problem is our drivers here are so reckless. They don't give way to pedestrians walking. And we don't have sidewalks because they're being encroached by businesses or by the roads themselves. So we have a society here where the rich will always lord over the poor, where the laws are always be made on paper, not in spirit, and it's not implemented enough. So it's just convenient for students to stay in the safety of their homes, and especially now we have a typhoon for the next 3 days, that they'll be conveniently learning and not stop learning since there's online and modular learning. So the model cuts down on emissions. So if it takes you 30, 40 minutes going here with your cars, since we're a private school, so you just stay in the safety of your homes. So it's just convenient and also wise to stay home. While asynchronous learning also allows students to study at their own pace, further reducing the demand for energy and materials. Even with the emphasis on flexibility, our school has not abandoned the value of traditional face-to-face learning. When we talk about convenience, it doesn't stop there, especially the reality and the value of face-to-face learning. S- Since 2020, since the pandemic, students have the option to choose between in-person, online, or modular learning, depending on their needs. This hybrid approach demonstrates the resilience of our education system in spite of the government's hiatus to going back to face-to-face only, face-to-face learning only. Its ability to adapt to external challenges such as natural disasters or national emergencies. By blending traditional and modern learning modalities, we not only ensure the continuity of education but also contribute to sustainability by reducing the need for constant operation of large physical infrastructures, furthering lowering our resource consumption. Our homeschooling program is another avenue through which we promote sustainability. To our home program, parents and students can design a curriculum that best fit their needs, provide even greater flexibility, and reducing the need for large-scale physical infrastructure. Families can choose between structured, open, or eclectic curriculums, each of which empowers them to take charge of their educational journey. From a sustainability perspective, the model reduces the demand again for school buildings, lowers energy consumption, and encourages self-sufficiency, preparing students to be adaptable and resourceful in a changing world. Sustainability is only part of the equation. Corporate responsibility is equally essential, and here in our school, we take that seriously. Our commitment to our students, their families, and the broader community is deeply embedded in our values of ICE. So when we talk about of ICE, dear Jasmine, dear Ravato, ICE means integrity, compassion, excellence. So we just put ICE over our coffee, and hopefully you'll be flexible enough to to drink tap water. But through our pursuit of excellence, we go beyond the basic requirements set by educational authorities. This form of corporate responsibility ensures that our students receive the best possible collaboration education, equipping them with the tools they need to succeed in an ever-changing world. Compassion guide us in understanding and addressing the diverse needs of our students, whether they have limited access in technology or unique personal circumstances. Our school has designed its program to be flexible and inclusive, ensuring that education remains accessible to all. Integrity governs all our operations, transactions, from how we communicate with parents to how we use resources. We aim to create a culture of honesty and accountability, both within the school and in our interactions with the community. At Smith's, sustainability is more than just a buzzword or byword. It is a core value that influences every aspect of our institution, from reducing our carbon footprint to online learning to promoting responsible resource use in modular education. We strive to create a learning environment that not only serves the present generation, but also consider the needs of future generations. We are also dedicated to instilling the mindset in our students through project-based learning and community service initiatives. We empower our students to think critically about their impact on the environment and society, providing them to tackle real-world challenges and contribute to building a more sustainable future. As we look to the future, our school remains committed to its mission of providing a safe, nurturing, and high-quality educational environment. We will continue to innovate and adapt, ensuring that our students are not only prepared academically, but also socially and environmentally responsible. By integrating our core values of excellence, compassion, and integrity into every aspect of our operations, Smith is setting a powerful example for other institutions to follow. Our flexible education model, combined with our commitment to sustainability and corporate responsibility, makes us a beacon of hope for a better future, rather. In conclusion, St. Mark Integrated School, now I just have to say it aloud. I have to complete the mail instead of having it say SMIS or SMIS. Our dedication to sustainability and corporate responsibility is more than just a strategy. It is my way of life. It is a way of life of my teachers, of my students, of 30 years of teaching, of what my wife usually say. It is our way of life. And I believe her. And my students believe us as well. Through our flexible education model, our commitment to our core values, and our focus on building a better future, Smith is shaping a generation of students who are not only academically accomplished, but also socially and environmentally conscious. As the world continues to change, Smith stands ready to lead, ensuring that our students are equipped to face the challenges of the future with confidence, compassion, and integrity. Thank you and mabuhay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing, and especially talking about integrity, compassion. That is really, really very important because here we talk about how educators can be building a better future for each of our students. And in fact, when we are building that better future, not it is not just for the students, but in fact, we are having a great impact on millions of lives, those who are connected with them. So thank you very much for joining with us and sharing your wonderful views with us. So now it's time to move on to our new speaker. Before this, we were listening to Dr. Calderon from Philippines. And now it is time to invite another speaker from India. Over to you, Dr. Revati ma'am. So please welcome Dr. Revati ma'am.
Namaste. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Uh, Really, it's a privilege to be here today to talk about a subject shaping our future, the transformation in education and the significance of lifelong learning. So, I would like to thanks to Sonal ma'am for providing this platform, and I am very lucky to know all these stalwarts here. So, gratitude. I'm Dr. Revati Rautlo, Assistant Professor in Sinhagad Institute of Business Administration and Research, Pune, Maharashtra, India. So today my topic of discussion on transformation in education. So that is the lifelong learning. So education is no longer restricted to the classrooms. As we know, technology, then work and society are also changing very fast. So this makes lifelong learning, and that is very crucial. So it helps to adapt to constant change. And learning is not just for the students, it's for everyone. So in today's world, skills and knowledge must updated continuously, and lifelong learning that keeps us relevant and ready for the future. This opens the doors to new opportunity, and it also empowers us to grow both personally and the professionally. So let's embrace the learning at every stage of life. And yes, let's imagine a world where learning knows no boundaries. So, in today's fast paced environment, education extends far beyond the classroom, a lifelong journey that empowers us to adapt, to innovate, to thrive, and with the technology at our fingertips. So we have the opportunity to connect with the experts and explore new ideas from anywhere in the world. And embracing this mindset of continuous learning is essential for the personal growth and for the professional growth. So together, let us unlock our potential and make the education on adventure so that lasts the lifetime also. And in all the human society, learning is the key foundation, and it is a powerful tool to build a knowledge based society. And according to Indian philosophy, sa vidya ya vimukti means true learning leads to liberation. Learning helps us to move from darkness to light and from immorality to morality. So it is an important source of self-realization. Self-realization, as per the masters, we know the need of hierarchy theory. Self-actualization to that stage is the last stage. So learning promotes the physical, the intellectual, the social, and emotional and the spiritual development of children. So it helps or and it also shapes them into well-rounded individuals. So education is a key instrument for social change. So over the few decades, it has transformed significantly, and it is no longer just about acquiring the degrees. But today, education focuses on adaptability, and with that adaptability, critical thinking, and it emphasizes the continuous skill enhancement. So learning is now preparing for an ever-changing world. So this shapes better individuals for the society, and by forming the stronger partnership with the industries, educational institutions, and that can keep the education relevant. And Sonal ma'am right now she is doing a very good work regarding how many stalwarts are there, and I am very happy to listen to them. Yes, this is a feast for me. So, by forming this strong partnership with industry, educational institutions, they can also keep the education relevant. So, this alignment ensures that what students learn meets the real world demands. And with this, additionally encouraging the self-directed learning is also crucial. So schools should empower individuals to take charge of their own growth. So this fosters the curiosity and also the independence. Ultimately, the institution must create a culture of lifelong learning. So education should not be seen as just a phase of life. So it should be a continuous journey of exploration and development. So by prioritizing these values, we can also prepare students for the challenges ahead. So technology also, we know, it's a powerful catalyst for the change. So it also empowers the learners anywhere. So imagine, we can imagine a world where classrooms have no walls. So learning is no longer confined by the geography of or any time zones. So really, we have to thanks to the digital platforms like this, and we can access the education from anywhere. So online courses makes learning flexible, and it also makes the convenient. So students can study at their own pace and their own schedule. So education has been uh, democratized. So today, anyone with an internet connection can access a vast amount of knowledge. And these digital platforms like the Coursera and edX have transformed traditional learning. So they can also provide a flexible and the accessible experience for all the learners. And whether you are in a bustling city or a remote village, you can learn anything, anytime. So this shift made education available to everyone. So it empowers you to take control of your learning journey, and the power to reshape your future is now in your hands. So you can choose from a variety of courses to fit your interests, to fit your needs. So let us harness technology to unlock our potential and create a brighter and brighter future together. So the global interconnectedness that also broadens our understanding, and it nurtures a deeper appreciation of the world around us. And we again insights from different perspectives and different experiences. So this diversity makes our education more inclusive and more impactful. So it encourages us to think the critically. It also encourages us to think the creatively. So we learn to respect and celebrate our differences. So as we connect with other, we grow as individuals and as a community. So as I want to conclude, please remember this: the journey of learning never truly ends. Each new skills you acquire and every place of knowledge you gain to open doors to exciting possibilities. So let's commit to embracing the lifelong learning as a way of life. So imagine the impact we can make, not just on our futures, but on the world around us. So together, let us turn curiosity into action and transform the challenges into the opportunities. So so this is the chapter of learning adventure starts now. Uh, let's write it also together. Uh, so thank you Sonu ma'am, thank you Anju ma'am. I want to share 4 lines. I wrote 4 lines just before 10 minutes. Shall I, with your kind permission?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So for education, at its core, it's not a simple task. It dares to push the boundaries, to question, to learn and ask. So it molds us into the pioneers who challenges what is known, to build a future rich with hope, seeds that we have grown. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was really great. In fact, the way you spoke about yes, especially the virtual learning system, the blended learning system, and we talked about like how it is bring people across the world to learn at their own pace. And it was great listening. And thank you very much for being a part of this wonderful education summit. So now let's move on to our next speaker. And so please welcome our next speaker, Jenny Rapsted, ma'am. Another
Jenny,
wonderful speaker.
Jenny, mom.
Thank you very much. I'd like to move right into my introduction, and then I'll go to the body of my speech, which will involve some exercises to support my content. Imagine that you're standing on a stage speaking to an audience. The audience is with you 100%. Things are going well. You have them in the palm of your hand. You decide to go for a laugh. The audience responds with raucous laughter. You think to yourself, this is great. This is great. I'm great. This has been my experience. I've been going for the laugh my entire life. Started out in grammar school, the only girl in a family of 3 brothers, and I had to fight for attention, and I used to get attention by laughing. I took that to school, got laughs from the audience, my playmates, took it into high school, into theater, then eventually stand-up comedy. I have been going for the laugh literally all my life. When I started teaching at university, the fundamentals of speech communication at Purdue University Northwest here in Hammond, Indiana, I was teaching a required class that all students have to take to graduate. So my very first day, I'm all excited. I decide to do an assessment of my students to see where they are, so that I can, determine whether I need to do any lesson modifications or I can just go with the curriculum that was handed to me. So I started talking to my students, and I realized that less than 15% of them in both my classes had ever given a speech of any kind in high school, at church, or as sports or any kind of organization. They had absolutely no experience. And now I am telling them through the syllabus explanation, you have 5 projects. This is a required class. You must pass with a C in order to graduate 4 years from now. They were terrified. One young man looked me right in the eyes and he said, "This is a stupid class. Why do I have to take this stupid class?" I realized he was speaking to me from a place of fear. And I asked him, "What do you plan to do with your degree?" He said, "Well, I want to be a businessman. I want to own a shop that sells and services motorcycles." So I said to him, "Well, as a business owner, you are going to be the voice of your business. So maybe you need to learn some techniques, how to talk to your clients, your suppliers, your financial people, your bankers. Maybe you need this class." Well, we went through the experience, and at the end of the term, he sent me a really nice note telling me, "I really learned a lot from you, and although I will never love public speaking, at least I know I can do it." So I realized right off the bat that I was going to have to supplement my teaching plan and bring a little humor into my curriculum so that they could relax. When you have no experience speaking at all, you don't have the skills that you need to stand up in front of people and deliver a good speech for a grade. So in my class with my speechcraft exercises, I made sure that my students had at least 3 opportunities in front of their classmates before they had a graded project. It meant all the difference in the world, because by the time they went for their first graded project, they felt more comfortable with their classmates. So I discovered that I needed to teach them, how to bring their words to life, especially if I'm going to use humor, because they don't know how to do it. They have no experience at all. So I started with speechcraft exercises that I wrote and brought to them and trained them so they had the opportunity. So we would first learn a little bit about vocal variety, understanding that you can change the meaning of words just by pitch or pace or underlying emotion. For example, I'm going to give a phrase to you. The phrase is, "That's funny." I'm going to give it in 3 different deliveries. And you will see how just changes in inflection and pitch and my underlying emotion changes the meaning. First reading, That's funny, meaning that's strange. That's funny, meaning this is funny. And that's funny, meaning I'm questioning you. That's not funny to me. So once I gave them a phrase and I showed them how to do it and they practiced it, they began to understand about vocal variety, that we make choices in delivery and it changes the meaning and enhances the meaning of our words. Another one that I used a lot was the simple word what. What? 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 Each one of those is a different pitch and it makes a different meaning. So I practiced those with them those exercises with them in the class and sent them home with them. And then we started doing sentences and how we can add meaning by making a hand gesture or a facial expression. So here's another example. Hello. 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 4 different readings, 4 different meanings. You see, if you understand how vocal variety changes meaning, you can bring all your words to life. So I put together some exercises, and I don't know how these are going to play with people from around the world because this is very much the American sense of humor. Okay, but I'm going to show you some examples of how we brought words to life so they could get the laugh. Why? Because when you get a laugh, it builds your confidence. When you stand up in front of people and you're kind of afraid and you're not really sure how things are going to go, you're still nervous. But if you have a line that's funny and you get a laugh, then you walk off saying, that was great. This is not so bad. I can do this. Okay, so here is an example, excuse me, of American humor. And this was actually one of the exercises that we used in class. So first I'm going to phone it in. That means using the least amount of energy necessary to get the point across. And then I'm going to add vocal variety to bring the words to life. My neighbor is scary. She yelled at her kids so loudly last night that even I brushed my teeth and went to bed at 8 o'clock. Okay. My neighbor is scary. She yelled at her kids so loud last night. Even I brushed my teeth and went to bed at 8 o'clock. So as I said, that's American humor. I didn't see a bunch of smiles, so I guess it didn't play with you. Here's another example of the kind of exercise we do in class. I'm going to phone it in. If we're not supposed to eat at night, why is there a light in the refrigerator? Bringing it to life. If we're not supposed to eat at night, why is there a light in the refrigerator? So get a little laugh. I didn't say these things were drop dead. I'm just saying you get a little laugh. Here's another one. Relationships are a lot like algebra. Have you ever looked at your ex and wondered why? Relationships are a lot like algebra. Have you ever looked at your ex and wondered why? I love that one. Okay. So now I'm just going to tell you that if you want to help your students speak more at ease in class, because eventually they're going to have to go out into the job market and present themselves to an employer in an interview. And we would like them to be able to speak with a little bit of confidence. Do some exercises in class, humor-based. So here is what I always taught my students. The audience is on your side. They want you to succeed. Control your internal noise. If you get nervous, don't tell yourself, oh, I'm so nervous, I'm so nervous. Tell yourself, I'm excited about doing this. Don't tell yourself, I'm no good at public speaking. I'm not good at this. Why are they making me do this? Tell yourself, I'm getting better at this every time. My speech today was better than last time. I'm growing. Bring your words to life by understanding the simple principles of vocal variety. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. And if you have a prepared speech, practice, practice, practice. So when you write your speech or classroom assignment, open with a hook if you possibly can. That means a hook means getting their attention right away. The body of the speech should have your main points. Then in your conclusion, circle back. To bring words to life, vocal variety includes volume, pitch, pace, which is how fast you're going, pauses can add a lot, how we articulate the sentence, how we pronounce certain words can also get a laugh, and believe in yourself. Always choose self-confidence over self-doubt. Let's always do that. I'd like to close by saying that when you get confident about using humor in your speeches, you can, incorporate your own little jokes or stories. Stories are a wonderful way to get a laugh if you're comfortable with the material. And the types of jokes and humorous stories that we can use in speeches that we write for ourselves are original jokes, as I just mentioned, jokes that exist in the public domain already, and you can use them. Puns are great. Rant sometimes can be funny. Observational humor, situational humor, sometimes slapstick using physical humor, and double entendres. Self-deprecation is kind of risky because you don't ever want to make yourself look like a buffoon in the middle of a speech. So I would maybe stay away from that until you get really, really good at that. And I'd just like to close by saying that helping your students learn how to use humor in their classwork will translate to success in the workplace, especially in interview situations. I have met many people in my life that said, oh, I had a really good candidate, but he or she got here and he or she just couldn't speak. You're not likely to get hired. The students are not likely to get hired if they can't present themselves well. So as educators, let's do what we can to help them speak well, and using humor. You can write your own speech craft. Maybe the American sense of humor doesn't work in your neighborhood. Write your own speech craft exercises using humor that's funny to your community. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was really great content, like about speechcraft and using humor. So yes, that was. Thank you very much for this insightful sharing. And now let's move on to our next speaker, Dr. Madhvi ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Greetings, my all dear global educators. It's been a long, actually, I can understand we are not connected, but yeah, as metamorphosis was always ready. So somewhere we are connected, that's more important. So by God grace and your wishes, we have got almost 300 students. So lots of work now. So you all have to be ready together. So I always say that innovation is a diversity because education is the backbone of the society. We always give a food to our stomach, but over to it, we have to give it to our mind as well. And this is how it is important to prepare our students ever-changing world so we can innovate and diverse approach. And here it requires global connections, and we all have. Instead of getting jealous of each other and thinking that why to go anywhere, we all have collaborated together worldwide to expose the students to varied perspectives. And everyone's mission is just that our shining star should shine beyond. So we all have different teaching styles. I have almost, I think, 26 global educators, including Sonal ma'am, Rania ma'am, and Jenny ma'am, Mike sir, like we have everybody, Alina ma'am. So how it is, why I asked them, Anjum Qureshi ma'am, Rania ma'am. So why it happens? Because you all have a different teaching style, and which you have, we all cannot have. Means we all have a different, cultural experience, different innovative method. So we teach with different, like we can teach with the different ways, like podcasts, songs, raps, poetry, drama, role playing, practical hands-on and activities, which we do it every time. So it needs a nature, individual talents and interests through. So personality, we can say personality assessment, mentorship program, project-based learning. So I have seen all of my educators have different qualities, but they all are seriously magnificent. I have learned a lot from all of you. So let's apply this theoretical knowledge to real life situation. That is what we are thinking, and critical thinking, problem solving, creativity. We talk, but we have to bring it practical. And I have seen most of them, like when all of these global educators come, so I always say just come and talk to them. But no, they do not give that set that limit. No, we are going to do this. Ask a student to bring pens, colors, this, that. And so that's so beautiful. So let's encourage our students, for everyday life. Like if it's all about the cleanliness, means literally they should do. Health and wellness, literally they should learn how to take care of that. And even a financial literacy, because if we are a teacher and our students are if for example, they are in the commerce stream, when they are buying something, are they actually checking what they're learning? So it's important, like let them know that they should bring their education in the practical, otherwise it's gonna be useless. So we have to improve our cultural understanding with empathy. So see how we all are loving each other. We all are so different from different culture, but still, I don't know, Sonal ma'am, ever we felt that we all are from the different countries, because we all are sitting together and the heart connection is so same. If you write to me that I'm not feeling well, I started not feeling well, and I started praying. Means you are always in my prayer. So in any way, it is always each other's hand. Then increase the students' engagement and motivation, like better preparation of rapidly changing workforce. Activeness, enthusiasm should be there. So I believe, like we all are. I have seen all of you are seriously. You have that developing a strategy with the, global connection and interactive learning, and as we have done from, I think, from COVID itself until now. So I have already heard a lot from you, and I've already learned and learning from you, and that is what I love. But my ideas, like the way I teach and I feel, I have a swag, I could say. Means I love, you all know that I'm an educational rapper. So I work upon it. So, and I try to teach with students the different songs and poems. For example, if you have H2O, so I teach students like two atom of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So it's like H2O. So it's like, singing style. Like there are the many longest words which they are facing. The pronunciation are not enough clear, which Jenny ma'am was talking about. And that is what they actually require. And if it's about science, if it's about social, if it's about English, it doesn't make a difference. So how I teach, for example, pneumonalgia microscopic coniosis, antidiastasis materialism, hypogonadism, schiphobia, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, floxinoxynil onipiculated antidiarrheus, pseudohypoparathyroidism, electroencephalographically, and many more hundred I might be knowing it. But how I teach my student, not in this way. Absolutely. I just make them like, as man said, that we have to give that entertainment. Otherwise, they'll be like, what we are they are going to feel drowsy about it. So how I do, it's like, it's pneumono-ultra microscopic silico-volcanic coniosis, pneumono-ultra microscopic silico-volcanic coniosis, hippopotamonstروsis, cupidiliophobia, hippopotamonstروsis, cupidiliophobia, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Lanvai, Pulgang, go Garakuin, double line, Tisilia go go cup. So I just try to connect them so they can learn, and then once they know, if we are teaching the 10 or 20 words also like this, automatically their mind gets settled and they know how to go with the syllabus and they can do it. So we need to have a grammar groove, so I have made a many songs. I'm gonna present later also. Rap I'm going to present now. Actually, I quitted the idea to do that, but I could say Sonal ma'am said that no, I am there to give you that courage and don't get exhausted. So I would love to present before you. And after listening to Jenny ma'am, even Jenny ma'am said that, come on, don't think that you are tired. Say, I'm excited. So now I'm super excited before all of you. So there are the few raps which is already made, as in tongue twister, few rap which I made. So I just tried to connect and made it a fusion. So bear me for 6 minutes, my voice tolerated. Anyway, so guys, I just want to know, my respected global educators, if the beats are audible for you or not. Are the beats audible? Enough? Audible? Or should I increase it? It's audible. Okay. Okay. So I'll try to. Yeah. Maybe get the megaphone, put it on the speaker. I said I can't hear you, so you need to speak up. Put the real stereo, everyone else in barrier, protected like a barrier. Promise there's nothing scary. Then he's like, when you come, gonna get guess in your hand. Bam, 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 head up the head, the rock in my red dog, and ring the alarm, says bang, then you and you. In metro. Italian. Una mattina. Mi sono dato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato la vinta. Oh partigiano, portami via. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 oh partigiano, portami via. Che mi sento di morire.
Oh, bella ciao, ciao.
E se io più da partigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E se io più da partigiano, tu mi sei invincible. Click, clack, bada bing, bada boom. All eyes on me when I stop in the room. If you don't know, better ask somebody. What's the matter? Step up, pam, pam, pam. Ram, pam, para, para, pam, pam, pam. There's a glass to the roof like cha, cha, cha. I stopped. Let me the pot of everybody. What's the man? It's made 90 mud. And it is for all of us. Outbroken from a young age, checking my stuff to the masters, writing my poem for the people that look for me, took the mission to me, feeling me singing from my heart, taking my message from the way, speaking my lesson from the brain, speaking my theory. Hey, you made me a believer, believer. I'm really to feel like rap queen. I just my vision, fulfill my dream and win. I'm beginning to feel like rap queen. I just my vision, fulfill my dream and win. Now it's time for our wrap up. It's a full A to Z tongue twister, which I'm going to connect now with all of you. Artificial amateur until amazing, analytically assault animating, rockabye as bounded by the bomb, building up with basically a bombard, casually create catastrophes, casualties, can't think cast go there, canopus collapsing, detonated, damaging, deleting, demonstration, done data on the ground. Tada edited injury, edited, application episode, elevated edited. Furious, strike, fabulous, fantastic. Flights of funk, file, period of fanatic. Discount period. Calling a leave with the goal in the glorious. In my highlights, historical. Palaka, picture, college image. Imitator, idolized, intimidate. In an instant, I write in an artist. Just on my just like, taking the dusty, just me, right? Problem, kindly, kindly, call, thing, John, Sporadic extra Brits, the kingdom. Let me live a long life. Lyrically, lesson is learn, stimulation. Mama, take marvelous, new markets, marvelous, many markets, masters, niggas, and like, that's naturally. Neck level, let make noise naturally. Operation, opposition, not optional, outside, outdoor, why being optical, perfect, powerful punchline, harmony, patty powder, fast to flat. Quite got thoughts, it's quite such a quite and fire, what we thought, really rap, rising up rapidly, riding the rushing radio activity. So the scientific, so scientific, super fast, so take charge, take that charge, just get it tuned up. Universal, unique concept, unadulterated, the raw uncut. Worldwide, Lord Victorious, valid, work with the work it right. While was first picture. Reading out of the reading of virtues, just my action, it's also. As I let the telephone joke, yell back, yes, my young one, yesterday, love with the young one. Six exam, similar to Zena, the sunset, all good and realize. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great, really great, and the way you presented, and in fact, yes, so we can understand how much your students will be enjoying. And yes, of course, you said like every one of us has a unique style of teaching. In fact, everyone is unique, and it was great listening to you, especially your rap song. That was really great. Thank you very much. And yes, ma'am. Thank you. It was really great. And now let's move on to our next speaker, Jelinia, ma'am. Another great academician amongst us, Dr. Jelinia, ma'am.
Alina, ma'am, it's your turn.
It's Dr. Jelinia, ma'am. Yes, it's your turn, ma'am.
Ah, yes. Yes. Good evening, good day, good afternoon. Respected Professor Sonal, ladies and gentlemen, I owe special thanks Professor Dr. Sonal Kumar Rai, founder Metamorphosis, for the invitation to be a guest, a speaker, the fourth team, Transformative Education Summit, October 2024. My work is dedicated to science and education in sustainable value system. One of my extremely important personal innovation in the introduction to the Serbian University of the pedagogical competence of university professor. Dear my colleague, I have been a university professor and scientist for a decade. I have gone through numerous transformation of higher education, but the reforms are adapted to the market, not to men, because uniformity we have all become a marketable product like every article found in shopping mall. Today, I will present with special PhD lecture, Innovative Approach to the Pedagogical Competence of University Professors. Higher education has recently expressed as achievement in teaching and learning methods. Academics are experimenting with innovative technique in using a learning due to global pandemic, which has given a new dimension to classroom teaching. Hybrid teaching is becoming the new norm for classroom teaching, which include both face-to-face and online mode. Smart gadgets and technology are being used to design classroom delivery, assessment, and evaluation of students. The use of innovative teaching and learning methods becomes crucial to motivate and teach a spirit of learning. The development of the information and communication technology, ITT, sector has led to knowledge intensive, interdepending, internalizing society, exploring and experimenting with opportunity for the design and delivery, and experimenting with opportunity for education. ICTs are opening up new horizons to facilitate exchanging of creative intercultural dialogue. The 21st century inaugurated a series of change that can be attributed to the process of globalization of the world economy. Globalization brings a series of technological, economic, educational, social, political, and many other changes that have transformed the world economy and have a significant impact of the business environment. The process of globalization brings a completely new concept of intellectual capital with a clear and strong focus of human potential as it is key component indicating its role and place in economic life. This work represents the most important component of intellectual capital, which is human potential. This is due to role and importance of knowledge, which become of central resources and the basis of intellectual capital is the application become a key from a material, spiritual, and other social world. Today's economy, it's right called the knowledge economy, because creative is based on knowledge and innovation. Depending on the environment, defined the economic horizon, companies are directed to a strategic, their human potential, to so these two strategies become compatible and inseparable. For the strategy of human resources, development of the most important segment of social strategy, it is necessary to improve and promote the market of education and professional training. Today, instead of the global goal of education to provide to individuals with lifelong knowledge, to primary goal of education is to teach the individual to acquire knowledge throughout his life, i.e., to permanently educate it and development. The aim of this lecture is to point out the importance, role, and place of intellectual capital in company with emphasis on its progressive and constant changing development. Empirical research will prove the role and development of knowledge in Serbian, meaning companies that are part of the global economy. Reason of nature light with which a person preserves understanding comprehends, illuminate the world around him. As scientist and philosopher of science use the natural light of his reason to learn, to true about himself and the world. Knowledge of science will give you a better understanding of the nature around use and the functioning of man and individual and environment. On this occasion, I address you all because you are understanding what is science and education. This implies continue learning and improvement, acquisition, and ability to apply new knowledge, value, acquisition of skills, etc. Individuals firmly integrated into society, equipped with new knowledge and new skill, 21st century. They contributed to development of society as well, improvement of material position and quality of life, development and promotion of human needs. That is why it's necessary that in all societies, knowledge and education are recognized is important level of development, and that a significant part of public material resources is allocated for them. Education institution, especially higher education institution, in particular, are closely connected with the labor market on the corporation of various cultural entities, education institution, business entity, social partner, international cooperation, etc. Individual, family, integrated into society, equipped with new knowledge and skills, represent the most valuable human resources. They contributed to the development of society as a whole, improvement, material, position, and quality of life, development and promotion of human needs. That is why it is necessary that in all society knowledge, education, and recognize is important level of development, and that a significant part of public material resources is allocated from them education institution, especially higher education institution in particular, are closely connected with labor market and the cooperation of various social entities, education, social partner. The development of human resources is very important in the world, should be realized in the direction of recognized to ability, opportunities, interests, and need of individuals. And through the education process, they should to guide a trend for different social roles, knowledge, science, education, value creation, scientist and university professor, business, has always been a powerful driver of social development. Various needs, various types of activism, individual and social group position themselves in society and knowledge they have, and to improve all areas of a person's life and action. Investing in science, research, much money. Education in development countries is not threat is consumers, but is investments. This trend of the could be correct because the consequence of the current world economic crisis were felt to a much lesser extent by country that invest fund on science and research and make change in education in accordance with technological change. Widespread benefits. Benefits is interesting in world or society development and research discovery. Highly educated people in all scientific fields, all dimensions, social benefits are a reason for financing education from available funds of the state. Competence as a condition for the selection of university professors of all title, minimal or insufficient. The work of university teacher refer as scientific and research activity, but also to teaching which man a higher education teacher most possesses competence teacher nor thus a scientist. Every higher education institution must ensure a minimum a professor competence for organizing and carrying on the teaching process, but also possibility to extend this competence. The fact is that there is a difference between knowing something and knowing how to teach. Is even the difference between knowing how to teach successfully should be recognized. The lecture present and unbased document-based analysis of condition teaching competence university professor now in Serbia and region West Balkan and the world. However, the professor of university professors, despite its structural complexity, at multidimensionality, interdimensionality, transdimensionality, has rarely been subject of scientific research, and some its dimensions have been marginalized in education policy. Research on the relationship, the teaching, competence, compared to scientific of university teacher with aim understanding the importance of their education and training for the performance teaching role, i.e., to achieve the quality of professors. The results of my research can serve a basis for solving the dilemma university professors or scientific, but at the same time they can also indicate the direction of improvement and advising on the policy of a segment of higher education that is directly related to quality university professor. In the development of the competence university professors in their advancement, in career development. In general, the scientific and teaching pedagogical component is emphasized. The scientific subject line of professional development is expected as something that is a necessary and sufficient condition for successful teaching process from the very beginning of their career development. Their teaching competence is put on the back barrier or often not given my attention at all. In the career development and advancement of university teacher, there are little that refer a teaching component. Thank you very much. In this part, my lecture is big lecture for education and competence, pedagogical, psychological, andragogical, logic, philosopher. I know my philosophy, my science. I like philosophy, psychology, and example, university professor and scientist in the world. Thank you very much for attention. Special my achievement, dear all friends. Special my dear Rania, Nolly, Yasmin, Jane, Mike, that is Sonal. We are professor, educator in the world. Thank you. I love you so much, my friends. A special thanks, my Dr. Madri, and a beautiful song. I sung my basis school, my professor, French language. Ah, j'ai vu, oiseau captivé, j'ai vu les enfants, tout est miré blanc. Ah, j'ai vu, oiseau captivé, j'ai vu les enfants, tout est miré blanc. To my professor, French language, Sorbonne University. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was really a wonderful presentation. And of course, like you told so much about how the university professors should be dealing with the students. That was really great to hear. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the insightful sharing. Now let's move on to our next speaker, Jasmine, ma'am. Over to you, Jasmine, ma'am.
Yeah, hello everyone. I really is to let my side middle night, okay? Okay, near 10 o'clock. So today it's a great pleasure to see everyone again. And it's truly an honor to be here today. I've had the privilege of listening to many insightful and meaningful speeches from the Dr. Fessner and Spec presents. Thank you. And so today I to share with you all two topics that believe to play a key role in modern education, multicultural education and impact on students' thinking. Yeah, and I have had a valuable opportunity to be a volunteer teacher at the International Children English Clubs, and where I met and work with a lot of students from various countries, including Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, and other countries. So this club is not just a space to learn English, but also a place where students can say explore the cultures and value of their own countries. Yeah, I vividly remember one special sessions on that day. A student from Vietnam spoke about Lunar New Year and a most important festival in the which deep rooted tradition. Then student from Thailand said about the Songkran Water Festival and New Year with soil celebrations. And still from Myanmar talk about the things and traditional. So the celebrations marks the end Ramadan Muslims. Finally, a student from India said the story Douglas was famous festival of light, symbolizing the triumph of light over darkness. So this story not only highlighted the diversity of cultures, but also helps the student and us, the teacher, understand the common values. We all said despite our differences, through the moments students from various nations connected which one and other realize that although we come from different culture, we also universal value like family, love, and respect for traditions. And so what does multicultural education mean in the context of our increasingly globalized ones? Today, the school is more connected and independent than ever before. Our students are not just citizens of one country; they are global citizens. As such, multicultural education is more important than ever in helping students understand and respect difference, while preparing them to cooperate and work in diverse environments. So multicultural education is not just about teaching students about different culture. It's comprehensive approach that helps students develop empathy, critical thinking, and problem solver skill. When students are exposed to various perspective and way of life, they can see the grown from motives and goals, which foster creativity and flexibility in thinking. So in my experience as a volunteer teacher, I have seen firsthand how multicultural education can shape student thinking. When students listen to story from their peers from other country, they begin to expand their horizon and understand such there is no single right way to live or see world's differences become opportunity to learning and personal growth. And for instance, I want to organize a discussion where students from Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, Indonesia, and Indians share how the culture handle conflicts at home or in society, or each student has unique approach rooted in their cultural experience. How, however, instead of arguing or reflecting each other idea, they listened and respected each other and perfected. This is a true power multicultural education. It teaches students to be open-minded and to approach differences rather than fear them. So the benefits of multicultural education extends beyond the classroom. It's a vital foundation for promoting peace and international cooperation. When students are taught to understand and respect diversity, they become responsible citizens, not only their community, but also about the global context. And in a context often divided by culture, regions, and ethnic conflicts, educating the next generation to love and respect one another essential. Multicultural education is a path toward reconciliations and collaborations, helping us build a brighter and more successful future. So, to achieve the best results, multicultural education must take place in a inclusive and supportive learning environments. Teachers play a crucial role in fostering its environments. We need to encourage students to share and listen to each other, showing them that every voice matters. And at the clubs where I volunteer, we always emphasize difference and not praise, but opportunity to learn from one another. So students from Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, Indonesia, and India have learned to listen, respect, study, and share lessons to grow individuals. And let's work together and promote multicultural education in every classroom, so that our students can become not only knowledgeable but also global citizens who empathetic, responsible, and capable in the international cooperation. Through multicultural educations, we prepare our students for challenges and opportunity of connected school. Okay, thank you all for listening, and I hope we can continue the build to comprehensive and progressive education system, better good and future education. So thank you. That's all from
Thank
me.
you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for another amazing presentation. And as you were talking about, yes, about collaborations and how we can make create a better future for our students. So that was really some great initiatives coming from an educator. And yes, we have a great role to play in shaping the future of not just our country, but we can say as nowadays we say that we are global citizens. So in fact, we all should work together and come up with few more initiatives to for a better future of the students as well as for the nation. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining with us, and thank you for the wonderful presentation. So now let's move on to our next speaker, Dr. Lam Philipso. I think he's not there
Sorry,
now.
Dr. Lam is out because it's too late. Because we see in the tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, okay. So I would like to invite our next speaker, Ashia ma'am. Ashia Khatun ma'am. Ma'am, you are not audible. Ma'am, I think there's some problem with your headphones. Can you just remove it and speak? You can just take it out from your. I think there is some problem with your headphones. Mm-hmm.
Am I audible now, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, thank you so much. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to one and all present here. Special thanks to Honor ma'am for inviting me to this platform, and I'm extremely honored. And hello to each and every esteemed members. Thank you, Anju ma'am. I could see Noli sir, Jenny ma'am, Mike, my dear friend. Very great hello from India to all. And the topic which I have chosen is fostering education at the doorstep. I have chosen distance education system as my topic for today, as because during pandemic we have seen that distance education system has not only enhanced the education system but also has kept the education system working on. When the four walls of the school, the classrooms were closed, but still the education went on. The education did not stop. So first of all, I would like to explain what is the distance education system. It refers to a process and a way of learning that does not require the learners to attend the learning institution physically. Learning materials are available at the doorstep and lectures are available online. Thereafter, I would like to also talk about the origin of distance education or the origins of distance learning. Sir Isaac Pitman used an English mail system in order to teach shorthand to his students in 1840. Distance education quickly became more integrated into the world of education. In 1958, the University of London offered degrees in distance learning. By early 1906, nearly 1 million people enrolled for internal correspondence. Hereby, distance education system came into a great force of learning. Now, if I talk about India, India is an agricultural country, and almost 58% of Indian population is dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. And as per RTE, the age of free and compulsory education is up to 14 years. And after 14 years, when the free and compulsory education is not added up, children drop out from education. As because at early I said, India is an agricultural country and 58% of Indian people are dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. See, most of these students, they have financial pressure, family pressure, due to which they cannot continue their education. Especially if they are girls, they need to look after their family. They need to carry on with the household work. And if they are male, either they need to go for the migration to different cities for their livelihood for earning, and either they have to help in agriculture cities. Now, this distance mode of education has not only implemented and enhanced the education system, but also has highlighted a great esteem of knowledge to all these students, learners worldwide. The motive and concept of distance education is to enhance the education system to reach the unreachable. Maybe the people, those who are not getting the opportunity to learn, opportunity to get education, but they have their urge of learning. They have the urge of getting the knowledge. They have urge of getting the degrees, of enhancing their education. This distance education system is very helpful for them. Distance education system globally helps for enhancing the literacy rate of any of the countries. It has already been seen that due to this distance education, many people, many learners have not only enhanced their degree, but also came into a workforce. Distance education has helped to improve economic condition of a country. When a population in mass enhances the education system, then definitely the employment of that country also grows into leaps and bounds. And the economic condition, economic status of the people of that country also enhances. Distance education helps to eradicate dropout. Due to the help of distance education, many people or many learners continued their learning, continued their schooling, continued their colleges, universities, and this has helped to eradicate dropout. Distance education has helped to remove the poverty rate of the country. Due to the enhancement of the economic conditions, due to the enhancement of the education system, people have encouraged, people have enhanced their economic condition, financial background, which has helped to remove the poverty rate of the country. Distance education has also helped to encourage girls and women to be self-dependent. If I talk about India, India is a country where in few states, girls are getting married at a very early age. They do not get that opportunity to take their higher studies. So due to this distance education, they can get the opportunity to enhance their studies, enhance their higher studies, and hereby the literacy rate of that country also increases, and India has also increased. What are the advantages of the distance education system? When I talk about distance education, I always mean it is not only offering education, it is bringing education to the doorstep. Yes, of course, we have lots of advantages also with distance education. First of all is time saving. As I said earlier, the learners, those who have urge to learn, urge to get the degree, urge to do something in their life professionally, but do not get time, can save their time and also carry on the curriculum learning, can carry on with the knowledge. It has a flexible schedule. Distance education has a very flexible schedule. Suppose if any of the students or any of the learners do not get time during the entire day, and because they are busy with their livelihood, they're busy with their profession, they're busy with their business, but wants to gain knowledge, but wants to gain their higher studies, but wants to gain degrees, the university degrees. This is very flexible mode of education for them. They can do their studies at night also, at any time, whenever it's feasible for them. Distance education system is a very less cost applicable education system. The people, those who have financial crisis, but want to gain the degree, they do not need to incur high expenses on the education, and at a very low cost, they can achieve their target, their goal. Distance education system also reduces the traveling cost. It is not only the traveling cost for learning, the traveling cost for admission, traveling cost for exams, traveling cost for taking the classes every day. These costs are reduced. As I said, it is a very cheap mode of education system. Distance education provides access to learning 24/7. 24/7, whenever it is easy for the learners to gain the knowledge, to know what's going on, to learn what is their education system they can access at any point of time whenever they are free, whenever it's visible for them. Distance education is less pressure for the learners. They do not need to go with a mass education system, have a huge pressure of completing the syllabus or making the passing percentage a very high, a very strong passing percentage. No, distance mode of education system itself is made bit flexible, and the pressure of studies is also less for all the learners. Distance mode of education system removes the language barrier. This is a very big plus point for distance education system. Different people around the globe have their own mode, own choice of learning, and distance mode of education removes the language barrier. I might not understand Greek, I might understand English. Some other people may not understand Nigerian language, or some other people may not understand English, but understand some other language which they are flexible and feasible in. So distance education system provides instruction in all the languages and removes the language barrier. Distance education system is also helpful for special needs. As I am the headmistress of a CBSE affiliated school, it's my personal experience that we cannot always support the children with special needs because there are different special needs children who need different criteria of help for attending regular school. Some are physically impaired, some are impaired from the lower portion of the body, some are impaired from the ear side, some are impaired from the eyesight. So this distance education system is very helpful for the students with the special needs. They do not need to come physically and attend the schools or attend the institutions regularly, but they can enhance the education system from their home itself. And during pandemic, the last and the most advantage of distance education system or the online education system we have observed is during the pandemic. We were not allowed to conduct the classes physically. That time, the online classes, the distance learning education system was a very highlighted, high designated mode of education during those days. And the teachers, the educators around the globe, they have proved that distance education is a very best way of providing education system. It not only enhances the literary system or literacy system of any country, but also enhances the